Hey everybody, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make this unicorn levy. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do this tutorial because it's kind of long, so I'm probably going to break it up into pieces. But this first thing that I need to show you is how to do this stitch. And this is a stitch that two things. I really, at the time I was beginning to crochet, I really liked the shell stitch. But I wanted to do something more textured with it. So I took the shell stitch and I kind of created my own spin on it to where I could make it more textured. And then I always wondered what it would look like if I added color. So I just started to make in this rainbow color and decided, well, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it to a levy. And so I decided to make the top part unicorn because me and my daughter were like looking at it going, it's like unicorn pattern. So decided, okay, we're going to do unicorn. And we have a little girl that was just born not long ago, my niece, that I said would be perfect for. So we went ahead and made this in mind for her. So I used a total of 16 colors, and that includes white. Without white, 15 colors and white. I had a bunch of scrap yarn, so I used that. But if you want to go and get one skein of each color, you can. But as you can see, it's not really, you use for maybe 2 rows. So you'll use each color 2 rows, and you'll make a strand of hair with it too. So it really doesn't take a lot. So if you have scrap yarn, you can just get enough to make 2 rows and a little bit of hair, but you don't have to add it in the hair if you don't want. I just decided to do all the colors with 1 strand of hair. So, but the white, you were going to need at least, what did I put on here? 2 full skeins, yeah. If you're going to make it this size, I would say get 2 full skeins of white. It should be enough for the blanket and to make the unicorn. And this is worsted weight yarn, 4-ply for the US, 10-ply for Australia. And I used a 5mm hook or size H hook for the US. And I also used a 3mm hook. And the 3mm hook is a size C for the US. And I used this to make the doll. The Afghan was just made with a 5mm hook. Also for the whole pattern, you will eventually, for this doll, you're going to need felt to make the eyes, or you can design your own crochet eyes if you want. But I used felt for the eyes, and you're going to need a tapestry needle for sewing of the little animal onto the parts of him, obviously, and also to sew her onto the Afghan itself. You're also going to need a hot glue gun so that you can attach the felt eyes onto your project, onto your head, and also to each other, or just some hot or some really strong adhesive of some kind, and scissors, and also fiber fill. That's what I used for the inside, the stuffing, and that should be it. Okay, to get started, we're gonna use the white color first. This ruffle is made at the end after the Afghan is done, so you're gonna just be starting with the first row of white, which I'm going to be showing you with orange because I think we'll be able to see it better than white. Oh, I wanted to tell you, name this stitch the Starfish Stitch. So if you want to go back and look in my older videos where I teach you how to do this to make a scarf or a hat, I have those patterns on my website if you want to check that out. So first, go ahead and grab your white yarn, and we want to start with multiples of 6 plus 1. Unless you're chaining, then you'll want to do in multiples of 6 plus 2. But I recommend that you don't do chaining. I highly recommend that you do single crochet foundation stitch. So I recommend doing that. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the single crochet foundation stitch. And for the size that I need, I did 90 for the levy. So you want to do 90, then chain 1 and then turn. So we're going to be a total of 90. If you want to do twin size, full size, queen size, or king size, I have all that information on my pattern. I also have my gauge and everything else. All that information you can find on the pattern page. Okay, to do a single crochet foundation stitch, you want to start with a chain of 2. Then you're going to go back in through that very first chain here that you did, which is the second chain from the hook. You're going to go through one of those loops there. I guess you can only really go through one. And you'll pull up a loop. Now you want to only go through one of those loops. So yarn over, go through one, and that creates a chain, which you can hold on to if you want, because you don't want to lose that. This is the chain you want to go into in a minute. So you want to finish your single crochet by going through both loops. Now where you were just holding, that's the chain. You want to go into that stitch, pull up a loop, then only pull through one. And again, that's the chain. You're creating a chain. And now you're going to create the single crochet. You're creating the chain and the single crochet all at once, which makes this like really super easy to do most things. So it's really important that you learn. So go through that first one again, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through only one, then yarn over and pull through 2. And you can see the loops that you just went through, so you know that's not the correct loop. Go down one and go through that loop. That's your chain. You pull through one, create the chain, then pull through 2. And you want to continue to do this until you have 90 single crochet foundation stitches. Okay, so I went ahead and I did my I did a chain, I should say single crochet foundation stitch of, let's just say I did 90. So the multiples is 6 plus 1, so go ahead and do one more if you're doing a single crochet foundation stitch. And if you've done a chain of 90, go ahead and do plus 2 now. Because what you're doing is doing in multiples of 6, 6, 6, 6 until you've reached your desired size. And then if you're single crochet foundation stitch, if you use that, then only do one more, and chaining you do 2 more. So I'm going to go ahead and do my one more, my plus 1. So you should have a total of 91. So when you get done, you want to chain 1 and turn. For row 2, we're going to stick with the same color, and you're going to do a single crochet in the very first stitch. Then you're going to skip 2 single crochets, so 1, 2, and in this third single crochet over, you want to put 5 double crochets worked in that same stitch. Worked, crocheted, however you want to say it. Just put 5 double crochets in that same stitch. And then again, you're going to do what you did on this side, on the opposite side. So you've got your 5 double crochets. So again, you're going to skip 2 on this side and then do a single crochet here. And then now you have your repeat for the row. You're going to be skipping 2, so the next 2 stitches you skip, and then the third one over, again you're going to be putting 5 double crochets all worked into that same stitch. 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2, 1, 2, third one over, single crochet. And again, skip 2, third one over, do 5 double crochets. So you want to continue to do this all the way to the end, and you should be ending on a single crochet. Okay, did my 5 single crochets, skip 2, and in the very last stitch here, put a single crochet. This is the beginning that you get whenever you do the single crochet foundation stitch, but it's not a stitch, so don't go into this very last one. So you go into the last single crochet of the row, and then this is where you usually change colors. Now you can just feed it through the loop that's there, or what I recommend doing is I will back out and finish my last single crochet of the row with my new color. So I'm going to cut my yarn. Since I'm changing colors all the time, I can't feed it up. So that's the, unless you want to leave the fringe on the end, which you can. I hid all my tails and then single crochet to make it kind of a clean border. So if you're doing it the way that I do, just be prepared, you're going to be hiding a lot of tails. And this is what I mean. I hid my tails and I did a row of single crochets all the way around. Well, I did a single crochet here, and then on the ends I did the ruffle. But on the sides I did the single crochets just to have a nice end. But I had to hide all my tails first. But I still sit in front of the TV, watch Netflix. Wasn't such a big deal. And she's worth it. I'm so cute, I'm so worth it. Do it, do it. Anywho, back to sanity. Now you want to take the next color, and I'm just going to create a loop by just folding a little bit of the, but make sure you leave a tail because you're going to be hiding that later. And you will pull through to finish your single crochet like that. Then I just pull to tighten a little bit, chain one and turn. Now it's completely up to you if you want to take the new tail and the one you just cut to secure it a little bit better, and I tend to always do that. I'll just tie those two together to make sure, but it's more work. It's up to you though. But I like to make a good product. I want to know it's going to be good. So after you've done that, you want to do a single crochet in the very first stitch. I'm going to get a little closer to make sure you can see this. So you will always begin and end a row the same way with a single crochet. So now it brings us up to our shell of 5 double crochets. So we have 5 posts here, a post of each single crochet, double crochet. And we're going to be alternating with front post, then back post, then front post, and back post, and front post, single crochets. So the first one you're going to pick up, sorry, I think we're going to be, front post double crochets. Yep, double crochets. So we're going to start doing front post. So you're going to pick up that first post of your shell, and then don't forget to yarn over before you do that, because we're doing double crochets. And then again, yarn over, find the next post of the shell, push it back, and then do a double crochet. Yarn over, now you're in the middle one now. Do front post, yarn over, grab the back, or push that one back, and then your final one will be front post. So you'll have the front post, back post, front post, back post. And that's what it looks like. When you get done with your last front post, in between here there's a single crochet. You'll just be single crocheting in the single crochet, and then you'll repeat. Yarn over, pull up the front post of the next shell, do a front post double crochet, yarn over, pull the next double crochet back, back post double crochet. Now you're in the middle, do front post, and then back post, then front post. Remember, this is the first color of your blanket. This one here was white. The next one I did, and if you want to do the exact same colors that I did, I have a picture that's you can use from my site. You can keep it up all the time, and you can try to stay with the same colors. The first one I did here, the one that I'm doing in pink here, was red, and then the next row will be white, and then it'll be dark orange, and then white, and then brighter orange, and then white. You're always going to do every other row white, and the white row will always be the shells, and the next one will be the front and back post, which will create the starfish stitch. Again, once you finish the third, you'll want to do a single crochet in the single crochet, and then again you'll pick up the post and continue. So continue your row, and then I will show you how to start the next row so that you can have the full pattern of how to do this. And I'm going to go back to my orange because that's what I'm using for my white this time. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you when you get done. Okay, again, after your last double crochet, front post double crochet, the very last stitch here is a single crochet. And again, I don't complete the very last single crochet. I go ahead and cut my yarn, grab up your white again, which is going to be my orange, and pull your white through again. And then you can tie those two tails together now or later. I typically go back later on and do it before I hide it. So you'll want to chain one with your new color and turn. Like I said before, you're always going to do a single crochet in the very first stitch. And now we're going to do the shell again. And just like you did before, you want to skip 2 stitches. And then in the next stitch, you'll do your 5 double crochets. And this is the middle. If you look at it this way, the middle one here is the one we're going to be using to put our shells in, because it's going to be lined up directly one shell in front of the other. So you'll be skipping the first front post double crochet, and then the back post, and then you'll be working your shell on that front post. Or here you can just easily count 2, 1, 2, and then the third one over, you'll do your 5 double crochets. And then you'll skip 2 again, 1, 2, and you can see this is a single crochet. That's where you'll put your single crochet. Then again, skip 2, third one over, put your double crochet. 4 and 5. Then skip 2, single crochet in the next. Skip 2, 5 double crochets. So you want to continue to work your row the same way. Pretty easy. The shell stitch is super easy. So 5, skip 2, single crochet in the single crochet. Skip 2, then 5 double crochets. And then you should end with skipping these last 2, single crochet in the very last one. Though if you're going to be switching the yarn like I am, you want to leave that last single crochet open so you can finish it with your next color, which will be the dark orange on the blanket if you're going to be using like I did mine. So now again, you will switch your color and turn, and again you're going to be doing a single crochet worked in the very first single crochet, and then you'll be doing your front post double crochet worked on the first of the first double crochet, back post on the second, front post, back post, front post, just like I showed you with here. And you're going to repeat this until, and I will show you from the back part because there's a unicorn on the front part, so you can't really see. So I did that with all 15 of my colors. Like I said, I used 16 total, but I was counting the white. So 15 individual colors. And then I did this middle row with double white. And then I started doing the reverse. So I did basically 2 rows of white. You know, you do the shell and then the next row. So what I just showed you, where'd the little sample piece go? There. So I did the shell in white like I did here, but then the next row, instead of switching colors, stay with white. So that's what I mean by I did a double row of white here. And then your very next row you'll do as normal. So your next shell row will also be white. So essentially you're going to have 3 rows of white, 1 completed, and then the next one will just be the shells. And then you'll add the color that you have on this side on the next row. And then you'll just basically, you're doing the colors that you did but opposite. So that way when you fold the blanket in half, all your colors should line up. So it'll look the same on this side of the blanket as this side of the blanket. And also using that little white row later on will help you be able to sew on your head, because you're going to be using that as the row to keep aligned and you know also that she's in the middle. So go ahead and continue to do that for, let me see how many rows total. So because I did 15 colors and each row is 2 rows, then a total of 30 rows, which will bring you up to the last color here. So you'll do 30 rows, and then your 31st row will be a double white row, and then your 32nd row will be the white shell, and then your 33rd row will be the next color, and then you'll go down the other way. So the whole total blanket is like 62 rows. 60 other colors here, 60 other colors here, and then double white row, so 62 rows. Okay, so I've been working my tails, and I recommend when you hide your tails that you hide them on the back side. See, this is the part where the color is showing, like the fork, if you want to say that. The color is showing like a fork, the 3 on this side, and then the back is where it only shows on like 2 of them. Because remember, you do 2 back posts and 3 front. So I try to hide it as best I can on the back side. Went through, I tied all my tails together, and then now I'm just kind of hiding them. Once you get going, it's not so bad. And you can hide them while you're doing something else. So once you get done, just cut your tails, hide once you've hid them. And then you're ready to start the border. So to start the border, you want to attach, one other thing is for the top part here, I should say, the very last row. I believe I did it here too. Nope, I didn't. I don't see that I did. But I'll recommend it to you. I recommend on this very last row that you go ahead and attach your yarn to the back part of it. First, like this. Attach your yarn on the back part, and then just do 1 single crochet in each stitch. The reason why I recommend doing the last row of single crochets here on your Afghan before starting the ruffle is because it will look more even with the other side. Because see here, it's like double white, and here it would just be straight up white into the other color, and it doesn't look as even. So I recommend do 1 row of single crochet with your white to make this ruffle look the same on this side. So just attach it on the back side of the last row, do 1 row of single crochets. Make sure that's the last, no, this is the last one. Okay. So once you've done a row of single crochets, then you can chain, I would say chain 2 and turn. Now we're going to be making the ruffle border, and to make the ruffle border you're only going to be doing it on the top and on the bottom. The sides will be working single crochets. So we have a chain of 2, and we're going to be working right into this very first stitch. So go ahead and yarn over, go into that first stitch and do 2 double crochets worked in that same stitch. The chain 2 will count as the very first stitch of the row. So then we're going to go into the very next single crochet, and we're going to work 3 double crochets into that one. You want to work 3 double crochets in each stitch along the top. So go ahead and put 3 double crochets worked in all your stitch along the top row, and then I'll show you how to start your side. Okay, I just finished my ruffle, putting 3 double crochets in each stitch around, and now I just did my very last stitch on this side. Oh, I'll hide that tail later. Okay, now you're going to be working down the side, and you're only going to be doing single crochets This part was a bit difficult. I tried to at least get in what I call a section, which is the two colors together. I tried to at least do one single crochet there, somewhere in the middle, and then one single crochet here. At least 3 in the section. Kind of helped prevent it from pulling and also made it look really nice. So I've got 2 here, and then I got 1 on each color here, but sometimes I'm only putting 2 on each section, but sometimes to prevent it from pulling I would add an extra. Like there, I put 1 there, and I'm going to go ahead and put 1 on the other, on the same one. But every so often I would just look and make sure that this isn't being pulled. If so, then maybe you'd want to back up and do a few more. But this is the beginning. This is the double crochet on the side here. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 on the double crochet and then 1 on the chain area. See right here, it's kind of pulling a little, but it's closing the ruffle area here. So that's okay. And you won't see that because it's going to be nothing but ruffle on the end here. This just needs to keep this side as neat as you can. Take your time. At least put 1 single crochet in each spot, but you are working with double crochets, though they're all one on top of the other. So you may want to put a 3rd in there if you can find it, if you find it's pulling too much. But slowly make your way until you get to the other side. And then again, this is my side stitch, so I'm going to go ahead and put a single crochet in that side stitch and chain 1. That'll bring me up to a higher level. So then when I go to my first stitch here with that chain 1, I'm going to be able to do 3 double crochets pretty easily on this side. So 1, 2, and 3. And I tried not to do this very tight because this is only like a single loop on this side because it's the chain. But it's okay, once it's a ruffle, everything's going to blend, everything's the same color. So everything should come out just fine. Just keep working your 3 double crochets and you can start to see it do that, then you know that it's going good. So you're doing the same thing as you did on the top. You're putting 3 single crochets in each stitch. And it should be really super easy to find because they're single on this side. They're a single strip of yarn that you're going to be working all 3 of them in until you get up to the end again. And then you'll again along the side you'll work it all the way up until you get to where well actually you're going to be coming from this way. So you're slip stitch, you're going to single crochet all the way here, and then you can just slip stitch into the beginning, chain 2 here to finish it off, and then chain 1, cut your tail, and you will have completed the blanket. And then for the next tutorial I'm going to start showing you how to make the little unicorn and attach them to your blanket.